After knowing how the Fender Stratocasters came to the Beatles, in this video I want to focus on some famous songs where there are still questions about which guitars were really used. We know that in songs like Taxman, Nowhere Man or Drive My Car, the Strats were clearly used. But today we'll look at 4 Beatles songs that you probably didn't know were played with a Stratocaster. It's usually said that in this song the band played like this: John on acoustic guitar, George on electric, Paul on bass, and Ringo on drums. For many years, people thought George used his Gretsch Tennessee because he played it in the Help movie and in most live shows. And since the Gretsch can sound close to the record, this idea stayed for decades. But the first takes of the bass track tell another story.
Help! Take 1.
George's guitar here doesn't sound like the one in the final mix. You can also hear that he had trouble with the descending riff. It sounds a bit dirty and cut off. Later, he stopped playing it and only did some chords, so that riff was added later as an overdub. To me, in those takes the guitar sounds like the Gretsch. But the final riff has the sharp and metallic sound of a Strat. So most likely George played in the bass with the Gretsch Tennessee and later recorded the riff with the Fender Stratocaster. That means the main riff we always hear in this song was never the Gretsch, it was the Stratocaster. Now we go with Day Tripper. Here I want to talk about 2 things: John's rhythm guitar and the main riff in the solo. For a long time, people asked if John used his Rickenbacker 325 or if he used his Fender Strat. Most people believe it was the Rickenbacker, but the first takes of the bass track say something else.
Day Tripper, take 1. Two.
The tone is bright and metallic. It even sounds like the middle or neck pickup of a Strat. When you hear these tracks before mixing, it's clear this is not the Rickenbacker sound. Now about the main riff in the solo. There hasn't been much debate here, but it's also not very clear which guitars George used. After hearing the bass and the overdubs many times, I think George used 3 guitars in this track. Some strange, since they didn't have many tracks to record on. About the bass, he played with a guitar with a nasal sound and light distortion, which matches the sound of his Gibson ES-345. This is also the guitar you hear in the solo with a volume pedal. Then in the overdubs, the riff was recorded with another guitar. This one has a nasal sound too, but brighter and cleaner, like his Gretsch Tennessee. That's the guitar that gives the riff its classic sound, and it also plays the solo. And finally, his Fender Stratocaster, which I think he used for the riff before the vocal climax. After that riff, you can hear the guitar holding the B major chord with palm muting, while the Gretsch plays the solo. So, besides confirming George Strat in this song, this also gave a recap of what he did with each of his guitars.
And the song, which is sung by our guitarist George, is called If I Needed Someone.
This song was recorded the same day as Day Tripper, which makes sense about the use of a Strat in both sessions. It's well known that Lennon used a Strat for the rhythm, but the surprise is that George also did. But the question is, how is it possible if it's clearly his Rickenbacker 360 on the lead guitar? Well, again we need to hear the bass track to understand this. In the 2009 remastered, George Strat is almost hidden, but in the 2023 mix they gave it more present, separate from the Rickenbacker and painted to the left with John's rhythm Strat. I never knew George also played the lead riff here with his Strat, until I listened to the isolated tracks from the DLD2 channel, so thanks to him we know this detail. Maybe you didn't expect this song in the list, but it's very interesting. In 1966, John's main guitar was the Epiphone Casino, and for years people thought it was the only guitar he used in the Revolver sessions. Later, it was found that he also used a Gretsch 6120 in Paperback Writer and Rain. But I think, in She Said, he didn't play the Casino, he played his black Stratocaster. In the Revolver Super Deluxe, released in 2022, there's a track called She Said, Take 15, backing track. In this take, the band is talking and Lennon plays a short arpeggio.
Keep going, keep going!
For me, that sound is clearly a Strat. To confirm it, I did a small test comparing the same arpeggio with my Casino, my Strat, and also the original audio.
Keep going! Keep going! Keep going!
Like I said in my last video about the Beatles Strat, after the Michelle session we never saw John's blue Strat again, but there are photos of his black Strat in 1965 and 66, so it makes sense that his was the Strat he used on this song. Even Klaus Burman, who made the Revolver cover, drew John with a black Strat in a cartoon of the band in the studio, another clue that confirms it. Listening to these extra takes and sessions helped me find answers that the final mixes don't show, so it's always worth checking what's behind the final version, because one small detail can change what we thought about these recordings. If you liked this video, please leave a like and comment. I want to know what you think about these discoveries. And if you have another topic you'd like me to talk about it in a future video, also write in the comments. I'm Duo and see you in the next video.